This conference will now be recorded.
Yep. So I think, can you talk?
हाँ
You can text me. I don't have a mic. Okay. Vamsi, can you just grab if you have a possibility of getting a mic? Because I believe it's the first session that would be a more of interactive session. Yeah, sure. No, Vamsi, I can't hear you actually.
దీనిలో ఇది లేదు కదా బయటికి పెట్టండి బయటికి పెట్టండి హలో 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 బయటికి పెట్టా వచ్చింది వచ్చింది మైక్ మైక్
Hi,
హలో
hi, Vamsi.
యా యా ఆర్ యు ఏబుల్ టు హియర్ మీ
Yes, I can hear you. Uh,
యా
can you just let me know who are all on the call?
Yeah, hi. I'm Sindhu. I'm there.
యా నవీన కోలా సింధుశ్రీ
Yeah.
and Trilock Vamsi Romit. So that's it.
I believe someone else has to join. That's that's the information I got from admin. So can I know who is
Okay.
speaking right now?
Yeah, I'm Vamsi Romit, right?
Okay. So
Yeah.
okay, I think we can go ahead and start the session until I think we can at least have a quick round of introduction until
Okay.
the other person would join.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, sure.
so let me just introduce myself first.
Okay.
So I am actually Trilok. I have already got a more than almost 8 years of experience SAP security. So I'm basically training, getting into this online classes and training mode for almost more than 3 or 4 years approximately. So I'm just taking this class as a part of SAP security training, and this
Yeah.
would be the first class.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you just quickly introduce yourself so that I can understand what you are and where exactly we need to start and what are the expectations, and yeah, please go ahead.
I'm Vamsi Romit. I've just completed my BTech in Computer Science from Geetanjali College of Engineering and Technology. So
Okay,
I'm just looking for a job right now. Like, I wanted to do MS in USA, but I couldn't do it. So I
okay,
just I wanted to explore Japan and all. So I went there and I came back. So I'm just looking for a job right
okay,
on
cool.
any IT related companies.
Okay, cool. So you are aware of something, we have the interview schedule on this Saturday for SAP
Yeah,
security. You are all
27th is
aware
the
of
time.
that, right?
Yeah, I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I'm Sindhu. I finished my MTech, so I'm fresher, completely fresher for SAP. So this is the first class I'm getting involved in SAP.
Okay. So yeah, think Navina is not there. So okay. So um, I think just I'll just give a one more minute. Just wait for 1 more minute and we'll get started. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, sure, Trilok.
Okay. Fine. I think we can go ahead and start. I'll start with my what is the expectation for this
Okay.
for this course at least, or what is about this meeting at least for today and the next few days, at least the next 3 days until you guys attend the interview. Okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
the interview is all about SAP security. So
Yeah.
Vamsi, you have any idea on SAP already, or
I know only the basic knowledge. Like I have only basic knowledge.
about?
What is SAP and what is SAP security? That's it. Only the definitions. That's it.
Oh, okay, fine. Yep. So uh, I think basically today I'll not be going through any PPT or PDF or any document. This will be
Okay.
completely an interactive session. I'll just give you a brief on complete brief on security and overview of SAP and what is the importance of SAP security. So I'll
Okay.
just try to share my screen.
Okay.
So you guys able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I'll just try to get to this basics of security itself. So I just want to understand what you understand by the word security and uh, just what do you know all about security in general terms, nothing related to software or nothing related to IT. In general terms, what do you understand by security?
Protection, being safe.
Okay. Okay.
And being protected by the threats, software threats or something.
Okay. So it's exactly the it's protecting something. So
Yeah,
whatever it is, we're protecting from what, from what we're protecting there. So we're protecting from some unauthorized person,
okay.
Yeah.
restricting something. We are restricting something from an unauthorized person.
Yeah,
Okay, for example, if you are in your house, how do you are protecting yourself in a house for
yeah,
restricting someone to enter into that? So you do have a door and a lock for it. That's how you are
Yes.
protecting your house and yourself. So
yeah.
what's the security here? The door is security. So what's the purpose of door here? So it's restricting
Uh,
someone else to enter.
yeah.
So who can enter into that house now?
Who's having the key of that door?
Who is having the key?
Yeah.
Okay, so who is having the key? They can only enter into that house. That's the way it is protected.
Yeah.
Okay, it's general term which we understand. So now if we are applying the same thing to a application or a software, okay,
Okay.
how does that work? So that's what we have to understand here. Okay, after understanding that, maybe we will get into how does that work in SAP. So
Okay.
before getting into SAP itself, we first need to understand how does that security works for any software or any application.
Okay.
Okay, so what do you
Yeah.
guys think? So how does a software or an application the security works? For example, in our previous example, you have called out that there should be a door with a key for security purpose. So if you are applying the same thing to a software application, how do you compare, or how can you say that? Any idea?
You have a code, and if someone have to access it, they need some key or something.
Okay, so the answer would be we'll have a password for it. Okay, so the first thing we need to understand on what is security. So now we need to enter into any application. So you must be having many applications in your mobile. So you need to enter into any application. So what exactly you need to have to enter into that? How that application is secured.
So,
So
pin.
with an username and password. So every application should have an username and password to protect from unauthorized people. Okay,
Yeah.
so are you guys with me, or
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
so? Yeah, so we need to have a username and password. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Let's take another example in the same example which we have taken, that house example, right? So now you have a key. You have a key, and now you have already entered into the house, and then
Okay.
this house has some 10 rooms. Okay,
Okay.
in that, you are supposed to enter into only few places, and few places you are restricted again.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so this is again the second level of restriction.
Yeah,
The
that is
first
access
level of
control.
restriction was, yep,
Main door.
sorry, Vamsi,
No,
you
that
had
is
some question.
access. Yeah, yeah, that is access control, right?
Yes, that's what. So that is the
Yeah.
second level of restriction. The first level restriction is something at the door level. Once you enter
Yeah.
into the house, then we have which room you need to enter.
Yeah.
Okay, it's the
Okay.
same thing which applies to anything. For example, if you take some office or somewhere, you need to enter into that office campus. So if you are in college, okay, so you need to enter into your college. So that means you need to display your ID card at the gate. That's it. That's when you can enter.
Yeah.
So that is like the security maintained. That's the control
Yeah.
they have put. Okay, so and then after entering into that college campus, and then you are restricted to enter into some places. For example, there is a administration activities, so you can't enter into that room. Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're not, you can't access that. You're not authorized. Okay, so
Yeah.
that's the second level of authorization. Okay, so here I want to just introduce you guys with the two terms: authentication and authorization. So these two are very important terms in security. I'm not talking anything about SAP security here. I'm
Okay.
talking everything all about the general security. This applies to every software or every application we have, not just
Yeah.
software, everywhere in your daily life as well. Okay,
Yeah.
so what is authentication now? The first level of checking which happened is called authentication. That means when you're entering into the campus, you are showing that you are displaying your ID card. That's the authentication. Okay,
Okay.
so once you enter into that campus, that means you are an authenticated user. So once you are an authenticated user, now then it comes the next level of check, that is authorization. So to which rooms you are actually authorized.
Okay.
So what can you access and what you can't access.
Yeah.
Okay, so now to how to define these two terms. Very in I'm just telling, I'm not getting into a complex definitions here. I will try to explain as simple as possible with a very simple definition. So authentication is nothing but proving your identity
Okay.
is called authentication. So what is authorization? Providing access
Okay.
as per your role,
Okay.
or if I had to say in other words, restricting access from unauthorized person.
Okay.
Okay, is these two terms clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
so now we are applying these two terms to an application or a software. So we were discussing this in a general terms. Now we'll try to apply these two terms to an application or a software. How does that work?
Okay.
So any idea? So we'll take one example. Okay, any application.
Yeah.
Okay, so any application. we need to enter into that application means you need to have an username and password.
Password. Yeah.
So that username and password which we are giving to enter into the application is called authentication.
Okay.
Okay, so nowadays there are people say that there are two levels of authentication as well. Okay, so for example, you want to enter into a bank application. For example, you are using a net banking and you want to get into a net banking website. So you will give your username and password. After that, it will generate an OTP to your mobile number.
Yeah.
So there exactly what's happening. There is authentication itself is happening at two levels. You haven't got into
That is
authorization yet.
Okay.
That is called as two-factor authentication.
Okay.
Okay, so that is called as two-factor authentication. Now, once you get into the application, now what you have to see and what you shouldn't see,
Okay.
that is the authorization. For example, again, so for example, in your college or in your somewhere there is a portal for requesting for a leave. So let's take
Okay.
an example that there is an application or a website where you need to apply a leave for your college in your college.
Okay.
So you need to give your username and password and you will need to enter into that application. Now you need to submit a form. So it has when you need the leave and what is the reason, all that, and then you need to submit that the leave request.
Yeah.
That leave request will go to your corresponding your teacher, or I think someone has joined here. Um, okay, so okay, I think someone has joined, but still, yeah. Are you guys with me?
Yeah.
yeah, yes.
Yep. So now for that restriction, what we're doing, someone has to control your access. Once you are into that application, you should be able to only request the leave. You should not
Yeah.
able to approve the leave as well. Okay,
Okay.
so that means you are supposed to do what you have to do. As a student, you should be only requesting leave. As a teacher,
Yeah,
they should be able to approve the leave. There is a control again. There is a authorized access control. So who has to do what? So I
Yeah.
can just write the another definition for the same authorization is defining who has to do what in that
Okay.
application. So these are all different general definitions which I can. These are not definitions which a book provides or something you have in a Google or not. This is just a definitions which makes makes simple to understand. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
now in the same way, for an sorry. So are you guys clear with authentication and authorization?
Yeah.
What are these
yeah,
terms?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
now we'll get into what is. So now we'll get into what is SAP.
Okay.
So so I think Vamsi, you told that you are already aware of what is SAP, right? So can you just
Yeah, yeah,
tell
like
me what you
SAP stands for Systems Applications and Products.
okay?
It is like uh, it is one of the most important technical modules where the SAP security administrators are responsible for the development and administration of user rights on SAP systems.
Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. So you're getting into the details of what is a security, what are the modules and all. So we'll try to understand more more on the software.
Okay.
Okay, so what is exactly this SAP is? So and how it is different from other softwares? Okay,
Yeah.
so and we'll get into what are the different modules we have in SAP.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and also what is the history of this software.
Okay. Great.
So I think this will help you guys to understand, or this will give you a overview of this complete software.
Yeah.
Okay. uh, I think someone else. Hello, hi Harini.
Hi, sir. Hello.
Hello. Yeah,
Hello.
are you able to hear me? Yep, I
Yes,
can hear
sir.
you. So can you just give a quick intro on? I think there is a lot of background voice. It's disturbing.
Diceasన్నారు benar gitu.
So yep. So to continue, we just try to understand what is SAP. Before we are trying to understand what is SAP, we need to understand the term ERP. So have you guys heard of this word before?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. ERP. Yeah.
So yep. So SAP is one of the SAP is one of the leading ERP software in market. So now we need to understand what is ERP software. Okay, what is exactly is what do you understand by ERP and how does that differ from other softwares? Okay,
Yeah.
now to understand what is ERP, I'll just try to give you guys a simple example how a business runs. So why I'm getting into the business means ERP is a software which is used to run business. So to understand this software, you need to just understand how a business runs. So I'll not get into a very complicated scenario. I'll just try to take an example which you have already seen in your daily life. Okay, so for example, you're yourself a customer. You need to order something on Flipkart or Amazon. Okay, so now you are a customer and you will try to place an order with the requirement what you want. Now
Yeah.
this particular order will be sent to the vendor. Vendor is a person who is supplying the goods for you. So
Yeah.
here we have customer which is you, and you are placing an order, and that would be sent to a customer. Sorry, vendor. Okay,
Yeah.
so customer is placing an order and it is being sent to a vendor. So now what do you think vendor will do?
He'll
So
search whether the
okay, so obviously the vendor will have a something like a go down or something like that, storage area.
Yeah.
Okay, so where the storage area where he
He
has
will
all
just go
his
there,
stock.
pick the items up.
So he, yep. So he has to check with that inventory guys, inventory team. He can have many branches or many uh, inventory. That is, I can make it as a storage area. So he need to just check on whether he have any stock available in his inventory or not. So okay, if the stock is available, he will deliver that to the customer, and the customer pay for
The
it, and the
amount.
transaction will be closed.
Yeah.
This will be one transaction. This complete circle will be one transaction. So if inventory is not there, that means
Yeah.
the stock is not there. Okay, the
Yeah.
completes, maybe customer has ordered for some 10 items, so there are only
Yeah.
5 items. So what
Okay.
about the other 5 items? He
the
might he might have another vendor where he will be purchasing. That is one
Okay.
possibility. Or
Okay.
else he will be having his own manufacturing unit where he will be manufactures that.
Yeah.
Okay, he will be having a production plant.
Yeah.
Okay, so then he'll manufactures, and then it will be sent to the storage area. From the storage area again it will be sent to vendor will be delivering it to customer,
Yeah.
and customer will be paying it back, and vendor will
Mm.
be sending the bill to
Yeah.
that payment.
Yeah.
Bill is nothing but invoice.
Yeah.
So this is a simple business flow. Okay, so now there, to run this business I do need a software, right? So I can do this complete activities manually.
yeah.
So definitely I do require a software for this. Okay,
Yeah.
everything will be on system. So now we have here four different parties involved in this particular flow. I'm just taking this an example. So in this particular example we have four parties. One is customer,
Second one is vendor, third inventory,
Vendor
and fourth.
vendor
inventory.
and inventory team, and then manufacturing team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now you guys tell me, I have two softwares in two different types of applications in the market available. So I am the person who want to run this business. I'm looking for a software to buy to run my business. Okay, and this is my business flow. Now in the market I'll go and search for the softwares, and I have found a software which has customer and vendor involved. That's it. And I have another software which has inventory and production plant, these two teams involved. Now if you
Okay.
are buying these two applications, what happens?
Uh, if you're buying the
So
first
it is
one, you
not
need.
complete.
Yeah.
It's not complete. What we have to do is we need to link these two applications now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, because so someone is ordering here, vendor should have an uh, that connection with the inventory team as well, right?
Yeah.
For that, everyone has to be on the same application, or
Okay.
else if someone is using a different application, that should be linked. Okay, now how about there is a software in a market which is available with all my teams, all my parties involved already, and that has already the link which I am looking for. So do you go for that software, or you will look for different applications and you will try to link it?
We go for a software which has all the details
So
linked up.
we will definitely go for a software which has already all the parties involved and which is already having that links. Okay, so now that particular software is called ERP,
Okay.
Enterprise Resource Planning. Okay, I have just took an example which has only 4 parties, but to actually run a business we would need many more and more parties involved.
Yeah.
Okay, in this
Okay.
we'll have finance as well. Okay, there will be a sales team as well. Okay, so there will be a HR team as well. So there will be a planning team as well. So how much you need to, the production plant has to have the planning team as well. So like this there will be many teams involved, and every team should be using the same application so that we can run our business smoothly. If you guys are using a different applications, that would be a complex scenario to handle. Okay, are you guys getting?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So now what how I would define an ERP software is, so ERP is a software which integrates all the business modules.
Okay.
So I call
So,
all this as a module. So customers and vendors, these are all dealt by salespersons. Okay, customers are all sold by salespersons. Okay, sales is a module. So what are the modules? So we have different modules in SAP. Okay, so we have different modules in SAP. Before going into SAP, so before getting into SAP, we do have is n number of ERP softwares available in the market. SAP is one of the ERP software, and ERP software
okay.
means which integrates all the business modules.
Okay.
Okay, so when I get into the business modules, SD is one module. SD is nothing but sales and distribution. Okay, finance, FI is one module. So controlling is one module. Material management
What is
is one
SD?
module. Sales and distribution.
Okay.
FI,
So
finance.
FI is finance. FI is
Okay.
finance. CO is for controlling. So MM is for material management. PP is for production planning. So like this, HR is for human resources. So like this, we have n number of
Okay.
modules in SAP. Okay, I think if you are making a notes, you can just make a note, or else I'll just try to share a document as well. Okay.
Okay.
That would be fine actually.
Uh, yeah. So these are the modules which any business will have. Okay. So now ERP has all these modules, and definitely now you guys should be able to answer the question how ERP software is different from other softwares, and why do we need to use that ERP software.
ERP is a software which
So,
links.
so what is the significance and how it is different from other softwares? So the main thing is it has all the business modules and they are already integrated in that software. So we have nothing to do on the integration part. That's the significance of the ERP software.
Yeah.
Okay, if you take any other software, so it's you have to create one application for each transaction and you need to link everything. So which is not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be taking a hell of so that would be taking a lot of time. Okay, so now getting into SAP. Now, as I said, can you just So I'll just get into SAP. What is SAP and all? As we have already discussed, SAP is the leading ERP software in the market. So we'll just try to understand a little bit of history of this software. Okay, so this was actually a developed by a 5 scientists who were working in IBM in 1972. So they have actually started working in 1972, and they have got almost 20 years, and in 1992 we have got SAP into market. So when I say into the market, so it's the complete full-fledged SAP
Okay.
with the all the modules which they have expected. And from then SAP has been evolving, and also it is having many more modules now and then being added. Okay, so
Okay.
this is a simple history and of the SAP system.
Okay.
Okay, it's a German software actually. Okay, so it goes by name SAP AG.
AG.
So
What is SAP
at least
AG?
is is this clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything what is meant by
SAP AG means nothing but in India we'll call the companies has LTD, right? Limited in N, private
Oh, yeah, yeah.
companies. All we
Yeah.
have in the same way. Germany we have AG.
Okay.
Okay. Um, Now next, getting into the modules itself. So we were all talking about the business modules. Harni, can you just be on mute, please? Okay. So yep. So we were just discussing on the business modules. So we need to get into the technical modules. So these are all the business modules. So now we'll understand what are the technical modules there in SAP.
Okay.
Okay, so getting into the technical modules, we need to have whatever you do, any application or any software. So you need to write code, right? You need to program it.
Yeah.
Okay, so SAP also has its own programming language. It is called as ABAP. So ABAP is a programming language used for
Application.
used in SAP. So this particular language is only used in SAP. So for example, in this particular example, let's see, this is an example, right? For example, a customer needs to request an order. That means he needs to place an order. So now he will get into the SAP system. He will get into the SAP system, and now he needs to place that order. So if he needs to place that order, he need to get into some screen, right? He needs to open some form.
Yeah.
So that form should be available for him. That means there should be a program already written so that once he submits that order, it should be vendor should be able to see that order from his side.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means there should be a program written in such a way that okay, customer submits an order, vendor should be able to see that order. So that complete programming, everything will be written in ABAP language. So this is one
Okay.
technical module. So another module is basis. So basis will be taking care of all the installations and upgrades. That means like the I can say simply administration. So to run a software, to run any software basically, so you need to have uh, the administration part. So the infrastructure, when I say the infrastructure for that application, you need to have a server, you need to have a database. So everything we need to have that connected to the software. So all this everything will be taken care by basis people. So you need to install the SAP first in your system. Okay, so all these things will be taken care by basis people. And the other technical module is security. So security, so what does security will be taking care of? So as we have discussed in earlier in this session, so security will be taking care of authentication and authorization for this
Authorization.
particular software. So when I say authentication, so who has to enter into the SAP, who has to access this particular software,
The
this
authorized
particular
person.
application, who has to access this particular application? Once see, yeah. And then
Uh,
the next part is authorization. So who has to do what once they enter into
What?
the system? For example, customer should be able to only request order, should not be able to uh, check the stock in this inventory, right? That same
Yeah.
system, all these guys will be using the same application,
Yeah.
but customer should not be able to see what is the stock available in this storage area. Okay,
yeah,
so that means he should have the access which he has to as per his role. So you need to provide him the access as per his role. What is his role? Customer, buyer. Buying is his role. That's it. He should have access only to buy. So that is taken care by security people. So now going forward, we will be concentrating only on this part.
Okay.
Okay. Are you guys clear till
Yeah.
now?
yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So till now we have discussed what is security. In security, so what is actually the authentication? So before getting into the again, so I'm just concentrating on the very basics, and I will try to touch basics on different topics in next 4 days, because I'm not trying to complete the course of 30 days course, okay, in 4 days for you guys to attend the interview. So I'll just try to complete very basics, and
Yeah.
very and also I will not get into the details of each topic also, because a topic can take 2-3 days of time as well. So I don't want to waste complete 2-3 days on single topic. So that's
Okay.
the reason I will give you guys a brief on each topic, and I will tell you guys how much it is required at least for this interview to be clear,
Okay.
to clear. Okay, so so as I said, so authentication and authorization we have discussed, and we have discussed what is the ERP, and we have discussed a simple business flow, and we have discussed what are the different modules in SAP, so functional modules and technical modules, and also we have covered a bit of what is the actual history of this software.
Yeah.
So are you guys clear
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
until now? So now we'll see
So, I just have a
architecture of
question
SAP.
now.
Yeah.
So, if they ask us the modules, do we have to define all of that, or we can just say the module's name?
No, I believe they will not be asking you guys what exactly each module does, but at least you must be aware of few modules, at least the names of the few business modules.
Okay.
So which I have actually mentioned here, at least you guys must be aware of these things.
Yeah, yeah,
For
yeah.
example,
Okay.
SD, sales and distribution. Okay,
Yeah.
finance, controlling, material
Control.
management, so production
Yeah.
planning.
Yeah.
Okay,
Human
so
resources.
human resources.
Yeah.
So all this, and what is exactly all these modules?
Okay.
So at least the basic knowledge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So now we'll get into the architecture of SAP. So every software or every application will have its own architecture or design. Okay, now SAP also has its own design. So it is said to be R3 architecture. So here R stands for real time. 3 stands for it's a three-tier architecture.
Yeah.
So what is exactly three-tier? We'll discuss. Okay. So
Yeah.
now what exactly we do mean by saying it's a three-tier architecture? Now I don't want to get into SAP and discuss how the architecture is. Before that, we'll just take a very simple example now. Okay, so you guys have been to bank anytime?
Yeah.
Yes.
So now banks use their own software application, right? So every bank
Yeah.
now has its own application and software. Okay, now you want to deposit amount in your account. Okay,
Yeah.
for
Okay.
example, 1,000 rupees has to be deposited in your account. So you do go to a bank and you'll try to you'll just give the amount and account number details, and what would be the teller doing? So teller would be entering the details of your account and the amount, and they will try to submit that. And what exactly happens then?
Money is
Amount will be
deposited.
credited to your
Yeah.
account.
Yeah.
Okay, that is what exactly happening. But technically speaking, what's happening there? If you're going technically, so what exactly happening there is data is being updated. That's it, right?
Okay.
So data is being updated. That means you have your some balance in your account already. That balance is being updated with additional 1,000 rupees. How it
Okay.
is being updated? There is already a program written for that. Okay, so when the teller exactly clicks on the submit button, when he enters all the details, bank details and the amount, and clicks on submit, there will be a program running in the back end, and that program will update your data, your
Okay.
amount, your balance amount. It will add 1,000 to it, and it will update in the database of that bank. Now if you see that same uh, account details from another branch, okay, will you be able to see that?
No.
Yes, right.
Yes, you should be able to see. So from any branch, if you are opening your account details, so it should be 1,000 should be updated, right,
Yeah.
in your bank account.
Yeah.
So it can be, if you have deposit, if you went to a branch nearby and you have deposited 1,000 rupees, and if you go to another branch and see the amount in your account, it should be showing you with additional 1,000 rupees. That's it, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
because because they are all connected to the same database.
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now in between we have talked about a program. Now where exactly this program is stored? When I said the teller will click on this submit button, the program will be triggered and program will update your balance. That's it, right?
Right. Yeah.
So where this program is stored, this
Database.
program would be stored in the bank server. Okay, so the the bank server will execute that. Okay, so now whenever you guys click on this teller click on the submit button, there would be a request sent to the server.
Okay.
Server would be, where would be the server placed? Server would be placed anywhere in the world of that branch. Okay, that bank server would be, can be anywhere. Okay,
Yeah.
so through internet, that particular program would be triggered in the server, and that program will update the database.
Yeah.
Okay, so now how many steps are there here? There are 3 steps. The first step is with the teller, with his application. Okay, he is updating the details and he is clicking on submit, and then it is sent to the server. Server will execute the program, and next server will update the database. Database can be anywhere again. It can be at
Yeah.
the server place itself, or it can be any other place as well. That is called as data center. The complete databases where all we have the database, that's called as data centers, and each data center will be about some thousands of terabytes. Okay, so that is a general example. In the same way, we do have the similar architecture for this software as well, SAP as well.
Okay.
What would be the first level? The first level we call it as front end, the software front
Okay.
end. Okay,
Okay.
front end would be the first level. The front end, that is also called here as presentation layer. Okay, so presentation layer. So presentation layer, the name itself, it's a self-explanatory. So presentation is nothing but which you can see. Okay, which you can see in the front end, the application itself. Okay, bank will be using a software, right? He will be entering that account details and he'll be submitting that. So to get that, he should have installed that software in his system desktop.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't mean that he has installed the complete server there. Okay, hope you guys are understanding the difference.
Yeah.
So he is not
Yeah. Yeah.
installing the server in his desktop. He is just installing that software.
So,
Okay, that software is connected to server somewhere. So the next layer will be application layer. So application layer, nothing but we have server. Okay. So now
yeah.
application layer is connected to database. So what does database has?
It has all the
How the
data.
data is stored in database? So
Um,
data is stored in database always in the form of tables.
okay.
Okay, so complete data is stored in the database in the form of tables. Now you guys need to tell me, so what does the presentation layer does?
Uh, it is just
So is
where we enter the details, which is visible to the person who's accessing the
Yes,
software.
that's exactly. So it is visible to the user. That is like the interface between the user and the application. Okay, it's an interface. So for in 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 SAP we have SAP GUI. This is the software which you need to install. GUI is nothing but graphical user interface. So SAP GUI. So this needs to be installed in your front end. Now this front end software SAP GUI should be connected to A server.
Sorry.
Okay, so who would be taking care of this? Basis team. So here you can see basis team is responsible for all this. So for installation of GUI, SAP GUI, and then connecting it to an application layer, and then connecting the application layer to a database server. All these things are taken care by basis people. So for all these particular business modules to work properly, okay, we need to have these three teams or these three modules. So these three modules do support all these business modules to work the software properly. So what if basis people are not there? So you can't have these connections and all done. And also, if there are some huge number of users using this software, there are some 1,000 members or 10,000 members. Based on that, you need to have that many servers. Okay, maybe one server will not be able to support 10,000 users. So that's the reason you'll have
Different servers.
n number of servers to have the load balancing. That's what we call as load balancing. Okay, so now now going back to the history of the architecture. So initially when SAP has introduced in 1972, that means when they started, it was only R1 architecture.
Okay.
So R1 architecture means the same system used to have presentation layer, application layer, and database layer. So what is the disadvantage of this? So what is the disadvantage of this? So
It's difficult to manage.
so it would be a tough when the number of users will increase. So it would be a single system. It can be used by multiple. So that's the reason they have come up with the R2 architecture. R2 is presentation layer would be a different one. Okay, presentation layer would be a different one, and database and application layer were in the same system.
Okay.
Okay, and that also was not great in performance. That's the reason they have come up with R3 architecture in 1992.
Okay.
So till now we are using the R3 architecture itself.
Okay.
Okay, so we are having this three layers: presentation layer, application layer, and database layer.
Okay.
Okay, now are you guys clear with this?
Yeah.
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 So actually, yeah. So this is the very brief introduction on SAP and also the architecture. So with this, I'll just close this session. Before closing, I'll just want to know if you guys have any questions.
No, we are okay with it, but could you please send me the document so that we can just revise it
Yep. So I'll
again?
just
Yeah.
yeah. Sure. I'll provide the documents. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just and the documents might be much more in detail.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as we
Yeah.
have only 4 days of time, so I'm not getting into very much details here. So I'm just preparing you guys to crack this interview in next 4 days. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Shilu.
Okay. Sure.
This is
So
enough.
today send the document.
Yep. By today, or I'll just talk to the admin. So he would be sharing with you guys.
Okay.
Okay. By
Okay.
today, or
Yeah.
by maybe early by tomorrow at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Thank you. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yep. So Harini, so you were a bit late in joining, right? So how much you got it, or are you clear with this?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
Bye.